The great blizzard gathering strength and poised to bear down on millions of American families across the Northeast. Experts say it could be the worst snowstorm in a century. Our extreme weather team is on the storm front, and ABC's meteorologist Ginger Z is out where the storm is about to move in. Ginger.
Diane, this may look like a mountain of snow, but it's not. This is 100,000 tons of salt that I'm standing on. I've got some right here in my hand. It is one of so many tools that millions of Americans will use as we prepare for this major winter storm. From New York to Boston, the winter weather arsenals are prepped and ready for blizzard war. And those in charge of the snowy battle are keeping their commands simple.
Stay off the streets of our city, basically stay home.
In a chaotic Salem, Massachusetts supermarket, the fire department was called in because there were just too many people stocking up.
What'd you get? We got all the provisions, the junk food, the real food, the water.
Here's how it all goes down. A storm slamming the Great Lakes now will join forces with another one from the south. Combined, it forms a monster nor'easter that will sit and spin just off the coast. And then there's the wind. Wind gusts will reach 50 to 60 miles per hour from Philadelphia to Boston.
We have more than 250,000 tons of salt on hand. Our sanitation workers will work split 12-hour shifts starting at 7 p.m.
They'll need it. New York has 6,300 miles of streets to plow. That's like going from New York City to Los Angeles and back. Wind and tons of snow is the last thing they need in New York City, where folks in Staten Island are still using tents after Superstorm Sandy.
Hopefully we can supply them with enough food, hot food, to get them through, before the storm starts.
This storm comes 35 years after the historic blizzard of 1978. 2 feet of snow and 70-plus mile-per-hour winds paralyzed the Northeast. What you're looking at are 50-foot tall cliffs of salt. It's really impressive out here, and they expect another 60,000 tons to be delivered tomorrow morning before the storm. What I expect is to be using these tomorrow at this time because they're ski goggles. I'll need them with all the wind and snow. Diane?
A blizzard that fierce. Thank you, Ginger. And now ABC's weather editor, Sam Champion, is here. So, Sam, what about the conditions? If you're going to need goggles for this blizzard?
Absolutely, because it is blizzard. It's the worst word we can pull out in a winter storm, Diane. It's brutal, blowing, blinding snow, whiteout conditions, and we've got those warnings out for 7 states here. It basically stretches from New York all the way through Boston and well into Portland. If you look at all the states involved, that's about 43 million people in the path of that storm. And with this, we're talking about, well, to get a blizzard, you've got to have 35-mile-an-hour winds and that blowing snow for at least 3 hours. We're going to have winds that are much worse than that.
Worse than 35 miles per hour?
Yeah, there are hurricane force wind warnings just offshore from Long Island all the way off the coast of Rhode Island and off the coast of Cape Cod as well. So we're going to have 50, 60, 70-mile-an-hour winds in this storm. It's going to be just terrible conditions.
And want to guess about the snow totals at this point?
At this point, a lot of it is a big guess, but this is the kind of snow that will shut down cities, so a lot of people are involved in this. So we're looking at right now that 10 to 14-inch snowfall amount, solidly looking for maybe a foot around New York City. Boston will see some of the worst conditions with 18 to 24 inches of snow, but we do feel like in Massachusetts, Vermont, and on into Maine, there'll be an inland area, Diane, that comes in with that wind, that 50-mile-an-hour wind, and more than 2 feet of snow by the time we're done with World News on Saturday night.
All right, going to be a big day for you tomorrow, for all of us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sam.